Hello. Namaste. So, we have a compassionate listening circle on the second Thursday of every month and the fourth Thursday of every month. And I just wanted to make this short video to just introduce you to what it would be like to attend a compassionate listening circle. So it's online via Zoom, and we're all then in the space together. Ideally, in my heart, we'd all be sitting in a circle together. And I think a circle symbolizes the sameness of everybody. Like one person isn't up and everyone else down. We're all equal. And I feel this as a space for being able to share anything that we want and for it to just be acknowledged and heard. And ultimately, really, it's so that we don't need to hold on to that. But of course, we can hold on to it as long as we want. But often, once something is acknowledged, it's kind of like a love, that part of us has received love. So it's just being heard. And I feel like that's all that's really needed. And something in me has wanted to provide this kind of circle because I haven't found them to be easy to find. So yeah, so when we join a circle, um, there might be, up to 10 people present. And first of all, we're just invited to be fully present. So just it will be like a short guided meditation, just maybe 5 minutes, where we'll be invited to just leave aside like thoughts of the day and just notice our breath, allowing everything to be as it is and bringing all our attention into the present moment. And in a compassionate listening circle, there's two roles, you could say. So one role would be sharing, and that's when it's your time to share, which would be speaking. And the second is listening. And they're both equally as important as each other. So the whole circle, everybody who comes, is providing a presence, or you could say a loving presence for the ones who share. And in turn, everybody who's present is providing a loving presence for you when you share as well. So the speaking part, when it's your turn to speak, you'll have an allocated number of minutes, which will clarify in the beginning of the meeting. So it might be that you have 5 minutes, so that everybody will get a chance to share. So when it's your 5 minutes, you're welcome to share anything that arises here and now and that feels important to share. It could be anything, it could be just, okay, right now I'm feeling some tightness in my chest. And, just by speaking it out loud, it's just a way of acknowledging it. Or it could be something, else. It could be like when I hear about this particular story, it could be something in the world, or it could be something in your community, or it could be something in your own life. Like when you think of it, it makes you feel a certain way. And to just be allowed to express that and for it to be listened to and heard without getting into a debate, without an argument. It's really just heard. And this way, it's kind of providing a mirror as well that you can hear yourself. And you're not just hearing the words, but you're also noticing the feelings that are present when you share. Because when you're sharing, you're also listening as well. You're listening to yourself. So listening isn't just like through the ears. listening is also through just noticing anything that you're aware of. And it may be easy for you to notice what's happening in your own being as you share, or it might not. So we don't have to force anything to happen. So whatever happens naturally is okay. And it could be that you're sharing something that you feel upset about. It could be you could be sharing something that you feel happy about. You could be sharing something that you feel challenged by, something that you need help with, but maybe you won't really get help within the circle because we'll only be listening. We're not offering advice. Um, yeah. And also you could share like any insights that you've had or inspirations or um anything that you want to share, anything at all. It's your time. And when you're finished, then you will just let us know that you're finished and we'll pass it on to the next person. And when it's your turn to listen, it'll just be the same, that we'll just be quietly here listening to whoever's sharing. And we're making every attempt to be as present as possible. And to be present just means we're just here, noticing that we're here and not engaging in any thoughts. Of course, we can't stop thoughts from coming, but just if thoughts arise, we're not kind of picking them up and we're not going to think about what we're having for dinner later, basically, or anything else. We're just listening and allowing it to come into our awareness and to go again. And maybe also the person who's sharing, maybe they say something that you don't agree with, so if something like that happens, you're just noticing how that makes you feel, just noticing, and then like allowing that to go. So it's a little bit like a kind of an active meditation in a way. But we're just listening kind of, and by compassion, I mean lovingly. So that's what compassion means to me. It's like we're being compassionate and we're being understanding, letting the person be however they are in that moment of sharing. Yeah. And, we can't make ourselves be compassionate. So maybe we're totally judgmental when the person is sharing, but that doesn't mean we're judgmental. It just means maybe there's a judgmental thought or some kind of feeling of resistance. So in the moments of being in the compassionate listening circle, we're not feeding into that so much. We're just allowing it to come and go again. And in that way, compassion can happen through us. And the compassion can be even for ourselves, having that judgmental thought or that resistance in our bodies, you know. Um, so compassion isn't really something that we do, it's something that we just turn up for. We have willingness for compassion to happen through us. So by choosing to come to a compassionate listening circle, it's like a way of saying yes to that. And I feel like by being in these circles, it does take a kind of an energy to give our undivided attention to whoever is sharing and to stay present for them as much as we can. And I feel like it's a good kind of practice, even that maybe we'll have the capacity to be able to be more compassionate towards ourselves and maybe more compassionate towards others at other times in the day as well. And then the third part of the meeting, after everybody shares and after we listen, we can then rest a little. We can rest our attention, rest our active listening, and then be guided again in a meditation where we'll usually just rest and really stop doing anything at all. So we're not giving attention to thoughts, not giving attention to sensations, really not doing anything, really just being here, not even trying to be here, just being here. And maybe just notice that which listens. So that'll be guided as well. There's nothing you'll have to do. You'll just have to sit back and be open. And being open isn't doing anything. It's really your natural state. So yeah, at the end we'll rest in our natural state and enjoy some moments of silence together. So that's what would be expected in a compassionate listening circle. And I always feel like it's very beautiful. I feel like it's very palpable that spirit, our own spirit, which is one, is very much forefront. So maybe sometimes our mind, our active mind, and our energy of engaging with the world is often forefront. But in a space like this, that takes a back seat, and our true nature, which is compassionate, which is loving, which is present, which is peaceful, which is joyful, that comes more forefront, it's more noticeable. And I feel like it's a very beautiful space to be in. So I invite you to join in a compassionate listening circle on the second Thursday of the month or the fourth Thursday of the month. Yes, I look forward to meeting you there.